Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam. Okay, you guys, we have a Chanel price increase that is coming for the cruise collection, which is going to be in boutiques in November. As of like right now, end of September, beginning of October, the Coco Neige collection, which is the sort of like après ski collection for Chanel, it's a capsule that is actually in boutiques. So yeah. Now, let's talk about this price increase. You know what to do. Make sure you're subscribed and you hit notifications. So I saw this information from an Instagram profile that I have noticed, like she tends to post really accurate Chanel info. When the sort of news was trickling out that the Frozen flap had been cancelled, she was actually the first profile I saw posted. Even the Purse Forum was like, they hadn't posted it, like she posted it on her stories. So I thought when she posted this like a few days ago, and she put this on her stories, not on her main page. And I'll put up the story here so you can see it, and then we'll go through it together. I want to go just bit by bit and just give you my opinion on what I think is going on. So yeah, if you love this kind of thing, make sure that you're fully subscribed. Watch all the way until the end, because I also have some housekeeping things I want to tell you about my channel as well. The first thing we're going to talk about is the fact that the Trendy CC is going up in price. The Trendy CC, as you guys know, is a seasonal piece. It skips a season. So it was around in 21B. I really didn't like the 21B Trendy CCs, honey. That's why I was not even talking about them. It skipped 21K and it's back for 22C. It will skip 22P. It'll be back in 22S. So you're keeping up with me here. We haven't seen any new chevron Trendy CCs for some time. I'm wondering like what Virginie and her design team are thinking, because I do think the Trendy CC in chevron is very sleek. I think it's just very, I think it's just a much sharper looking bag, whereas the one with the diamond quilting is just like classically feminine. I mean, both are great, they're just very different. Anywho, the Trendy CC will be going up in price. As you guys know, so I've talked about it so much, so go watch my 22C video, which will be linked below. I have talked about the fact that the Trendy CC is coming rose gold hardware. I'm not going to post a picture in here because I've posted it so many times in my other videos. It's coming rose gold hardware in black with the diamond quilts. Allegedly, it's also coming in white with rose gold hardware, which to me is kind of creepy but cool at the same time. I would need to see a good quality photo in order to talk about it. Ignore my dogs in the background as usual. When they know I'm about to film, they're like, we're gonna take over her video and be barking, so just ignore that. So yeah, the Trendy is going up. I think there's also like a large Trendy for the 22C collection. I'm very curious, does anyone have a large Trendy? Because they look like work bags to me. They almost look like briefcases. Maybe they could work, who knows? Okay, and then the next piece that's going up is the Deauville. I feel like the Deauville has kind of been forgotten as the mini bag craze has become hot. So maybe Chanel are privy to a lot of data that we as clients and fans of the house don't actually really know. Maybe they are privy to the fact that bigger bags will maybe be back in style in 2023 or 2022, because why would they increase the price of the Deauville otherwise? I was watching a shopping vlog by a luxury YouTuber and I saw this Deauville pouch. I can't find the photo on the internet. I've looked for it everywhere. Please, if someone knows if this is a real thing, tell me how much it is in the comments. US dollar or euros or pound sterling is fine. I love it. Anyway, I always used to really like the Deauville. I feel like the Deauville looks nice in these kind of like darker colors. I mean, I don't know what you guys think. I'm very curious about like, why would they increase it now? I mean, it's a great bag for cruise in general, but it's just such an interesting strategy. Maybe they see something in their data and analytics that we don't, and maybe they do see those kind of bigger bags coming back in fashion, who knows. The next thing that's also going up are, I think, selected shoes. Yeah, I'm not massive on Chanel shoes. I do like their trainers, but their shoes are not something that I follow. Those of you who care about their shoes, tell me what you think of this. And then I also think they have certain card holders slash SLGs slash wallets will also be going up. The classic flaps are not going up in price. I think that was such a good idea to make sure that the classic flaps don't increase in price. The reason why I think that is because I think people are just exhausted. They know how important the classic flaps are are for their business, whether it's like the classic flaps or the reissues. I think it was the right decision not to increase the price of those. I was really intrigued by the fact that the Trendy CC and the Deauville have been singled out for an increase. The Trendy CC has not gone up in price for a long period of time. I tend to monitor the price of the Trendy CC in the small size in pounds sterling, because I like seeing how they compare their pound sterling prices to euro prices, and it's been £4,220 for the longest period of time on the Chanel UK website. Yeah, for ages, really, for months, honestly. I think even since February, it's been that price. So I think maybe like, oh my gosh, like, what about the Trendy? The Trendy needs to be increased in price, honey. Okay, so we can get a check. And I really feel like that's what they're doing, because I don't know whether the rose gold hardware would kind of justify, because the bag itself, as we know Chanel like to do, the bag itself is not necessarily going to like change, or they're not going to add like new design elements or anything like that. So those are basically the price increases that you guys can expect. On her page, she says October, but the collection will be in boutiques worldwide in November. So I feel like November is just a more accurate way of looking at it. I'm very curious to know what you think. This is what I think, and this is just my opinion. I think that they're very strategic. Every collection there's an increase, but they single out products which they think are doing well, or products which have been maybe ignored. You know, when you think of the really hot bags at Chanel, I think you think of like the Coco handle. You definitely, I know that lots of people think like the Chanel 19 is weird, but I love the Chanel 19. I think it's fab. I think, you know, you think of the Coco handle, you think of the Chanel 19, and of course you think of, you know, the classic flaps, and those like seasonal pieces. I feel like the Trendy, the Deauville, I mean, even the Gabrielle, which is a bag I personally do not like at all, and I would be happy if they discontinued that bag. And even the boy bag, I feel like those bags do kind of get ignored. I don't know which collection it was, but I could have sworn a few years ago there was like a light brown, like cafe au lait at Trendy CC ages ago, but I don't remember. I feel like the Trendy CC is just one of those bags that, because it's not as hot as the Coco handle, and for those of you who want to kind of stay away from bags that are constantly going up in price, I feel like the Coco handle is constantly going up in price. In 21K it had a price increase. It's constantly going up in price, whereas I feel like bags like the Trendy CC, even the boy bag to be fair, and the Deauville, like they're just not always going up in price because they're just not as desirable at the moment. I think when we look at the House of Chanel, like what are the super desirable bags right now that people really want to score? I really do think it's those seasonal pieces. And then the Coco handles. I feel like the Coco handles are just so hot right now for the house. And even to a certain degree, some of those like seasonal Chanel 19s, like this Ecru Chanel 19. I remember when this came out, everyone was talking about it. The Houndstooth Chanel 19 that came out a while ago as well. People really do love those types of like seasonal bags from the house, and those ones tend to command more money, even if they're not made from leather, honey. Okay, even if it's like a tweed bag or a fabric bag. So what does this mean for you? And we've just had the price increase in Chanel 21K. Are you obsessed about it? Are you mad about it? I've told you guys before, for me, I like to report the news and the facts about like the shopping angle. I don't want to get too caught up in whether it's right or wrong, because at the end of the day, no one needs to purchase a £5,000 handbag. No one needs to buy a £4,220 Trendy CC in the small size. We don't need these things. So in light of that, I think, of course, I hope I don't sound too flippant. I do feel like had they increased the price of the classic flaps, I feel like that would have just been way too much. But I feel like they're just so strategic about what they increase. There's some of you who are not going to be affected by this. If you don't like the Trendy, if you don't like the Deauville, you are unaffected, honey. You're unpressed, you're unbothered, because the classic flaps are not going up, and the Coco handle is not going up again, and the the vanity with the top handle isn't going up. I think moving forward, we're going to continue to see this strategy from Chanel to increase prices for each, for different products within each collection, and to do it very strategically. So I thought it could be really fun to look at who is in the firing line, honey, to be increased for 22p. This is what I think. I think the mini with the top handle will definitely go up for 22p because it hasn't been targeted for being increased in price for 22C. Although I don't know if they are there new minis coming out? I don't know. I need to double check that. But I do think the mini with the top handle probably will increase in price. I think the fact that they didn't increase the price for the classic flaps in 22C means that there's a possibility that in 22P or at the very least 22S that they would increase the prices for the classic flaps. The classic flaps for me are interesting. You never really hear me talking about them. I think I'm just not that interested in them. I've told you guys before many times that my favorite like shoulder bag from all of the brands included is actually the Louis Vuitton Dauphine bag. So I just can't put any Chanel classic flap above the Dauphine bag because that is my favorite shoulder bag, and because the classic flaps are not top handles, it's hard for me to put the classic flaps above the Dauphines, even consider making a purchase. The Dauphine is on my holy grail wish list, which means it's always there. It will always be there until I achieve it, and I think that's why I'm not too worried about the classic flaps. But I know there are a lot of you who love the classic flaps in different sizes, so you're going to be curious. My bet is the fact that they're not going up for 22C. It means that for 22P they probably will go up, so it's just something to note. There's some really beautiful, as I said, mini with top handles that are coming in 22P. I do think that they would absolutely use that as an opportunity to increase the price as well. I also feel like I haven't heard anything about costume jewelry going up in price, so I would also guess for 22P and 22S that they would use that as an opportunity because their costume jewelry is very fun, particularly for the spring summer collections. They always make some really cute costume jewelry pieces, and I know so many people are like, oh my god, why do people buy Chanel costume jewelry? People buy Chanel costume jewelry because it's fun and stylish. You know, you don't always want to wear fine jewelry all the time. You might lose it. It's nice to have those like costume jewelry pieces that you can wear on a more day-to-day thing. I would still wear fine jewelry day-to-day, but it is nice knowing that you have those more carefree pieces. And I think that's why Chanel's costume jewelry does really, really well. A few days ago, I went to the hair salon to get cornrows done. You probably saw that hair in my previous video. I've actually just put this wig on top of the cornrows. And I want to tell you guys this story. It connects to the Chanel price increase. Please watch all the way until the end because there's a moral to this story. So I go get my hair done. He washes my hair. He does the cornrows. And then he tells me this price. I'm not going to say the price because first of all, it's in Tanzanian shillings. And second of all, you're going to be like, oh my God, you're like so upset about it, but you don't mind spending money on really expensive European fashion houses. No, that's not the thing. So he tells me the price and I was a bit taken aback because I was like, whoa, I was like, you've increased your prices again, because he had increased his prices around the time of my birthday. I remember going to get my hair done, he'd increased the prices. And in my head, I was like, this guy really thinks he's the Chanel of Tanzania. I was like screaming so hard. Anyway, so I was talking to him about it because since I've been back in Tanzania for at least 9 years, I've been doing my hair at wherever he's been working. I've been following him from salon to salon. So I feel comfortable enough to keep it completely real, not talking down to him or being nasty, but keeping it real. I was like, whoa, you've increased the prices again. And he was like, yeah, but I did this and this and this. I was like, your prices are really expensive. Now, not to sound boasty or weird, but I do live in like an affluent part of town, and I know what all the salons in my neighborhood charge because I'm that kind of price person. I love prices, as you can tell. This is a shopping channel, so I'm very tuned into what something should cost, and I just know how much it should cost. Now, I feel like hairstyling, particularly in a developing country like mine, it's a commodity at the end of the day. You can't brand a hairstyling service in a country like this because everyone here knows a cousin who can do hair, who can do cornrows for like the equivalent of like $2. So I told him, I was like, oh, I have no problem paying at all. I'll just, because I didn't have enough cash on me in my purse at the time, so I had to go to the cash point to take money out. I was like, I'll be right back. So I came back and gave him the money, and he's like, love to chat to you about it. And I was like, I feel like you're just a little bit too expensive, and I think you should think about that because what happens is, I feel like if you are selling like a commodity service, you can't get your Chanel on, you get me? You can't get your Hermes on, you can't do your Louis Vuitton because you're not a brand. And that's not being harsh or anything. And particularly in a developing country, you're not a brand. So people are going to be like, oh my gosh, like I went to go get my hair done in that neighborhood and it was so expensive. And if I had just gone to my local place, it would have been like 30% less and the result is the same. you know. So then it got me thinking, because I knew I was going to be filming this video, and I was thinking so much about it. And I know some of you might be like, oh my god, you're happy to like pay for expensive Chanel bags, but you don't want to pay this man his worth. It's not about that. It's about looking at what is the market charging for a service that basically you cannot brand in a country like mine. I know in Western countries there are like also celebrity stylists. Of course, you know, Beyonce is my favorite artist. Kim Kimble is I think Beyonce still gets a head on from her from time to time, but in the beginning of her career, Kim Kimble would do a lot of Beyonce's really iconic looks. So I understand that there's those like celebrity hairstylists. I think Nicki's current hairstylist is this guy called Arrogant Tay, and he does like a lot of her wigs, and yeah, she looks completely phenomenal. Now that is a niche service, okay? Because there are very few people who would think it's worth going to a really expensive hairstylist every single month just because they're a brand. And this, as I said, he's been doing my hair for so many years. So I felt like it was worth me just kind of relaying some feedback to him to say, hey, do you know what? I think that you know, for what I got done it was pretty expensive. And it was the first time this week when he did my hair that I kind of felt like, whoa, this guy's constantly increasing his prices. I think I'm going to go find other stylists now to work with. Now for some context, there was one time I remember going to his hair salon. I wanted to get a weave done, and yeah, weaves and wigs are different. I wanted to get a weave done, and the price he quoted was astronomically high. And I was joking with him. I was like, are you trying to rip me off? Like, why are you always charging me these ridiculous prices? And I told him, I was like, I'm not going to do it. And then there was another client who walked in, and she was like asking prices, and he was quoting her crazy prices, and she was like, what are you talking about? So the moral of the story here is, why can Chanel charge what they charge, and why can't he? It's just really hard to do that, even in a country like mine, or even in a more affluent country like in the West or whatever. I feel like it's not that easy. I mean, at least for someone like me. So for example, a few months ago, I used to order like a lot of wigs. I haven't in some time, but when I would order wigs from America, I would go sometimes and get him to install them on me. I can install wigs on my own. I don't need to go to him. But sometimes I'd be like, hold on, wait. Let me go to him. If he's charging an affordable price, I'm happy for him to install the wig on me. And then I'm like supporting his local business. So then recently I haven't installed like a new wig at his place for some time. So I asked him, I was like, hey, how much is it? And he's increased the price as well. So what's happening is, he's actually pricing out people who can afford his product. It's not an issue of not being able to afford his product. I could go and get my hair done at his place every single week. It's not an issue. The issue is the people who live in this area, which is an affluent area, people know the value of how much these services are supposed to cost. So people would feel like they were stupid spending that much money on a service. And I know this sounds really harsh. So I think the question here is, with Chanel, and I've said this time and time again, I like Chanel's seasonal bags, and I like their approach to their non-traditional bags. So I love the Trendy CC, I love the Chanel 19, you know, and I really like the way they do those like seasonal pieces, and I really like the vanity with the top handle. I'm under no bones. If I'm buying a Chanel bag, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm worrying about quality and this and this and this. I understand I'm buying it because it's a vibe, honey. It's a mood. You like the colors and you like the way it makes you feel and all of that. And I have no issue with that. And just to prove that I'm not being tough on him and being easy on Chanel, a few days ago, my husband and I went out for dinner to this restaurant that makes like Tanzanian / Western style food, but with a Tanzanian twist. So I had this apple pie here. It was really nice, and it had like Tanzanian spices. It was super tasty. It was very expensive, honey, okay? Now, but that's what I'm saying. It was super expensive, but I think it was worth it. And I'm actually going to write a Google review for that restaurant because it was super tasty and it was a really good experience. The food there is very dense. It's very rich. It's full of texture. Even though it's very expensive, to me, it was worth the money. And I think that's the point. It doesn't matter whether it's a Chanel bag, whether it's a hairstyling service in Tanzania. You as the client need to feel that it's worth the money. So I feel like he's fantastic. He's a great guy. I'll still probably go and get my eyebrows done there maybe from time to time, but I don't know whether he can be my stylist like for my hair full time anymore. And before I even started this channel, I would be at his salon 3 times a month. Easily, not a problem at all. I'd be getting, weaves done. I'd have my wigs installed. I'd get cornrows. I'd do African threading. So at this point, the only style I'd really get done there is African threading, unless he increases the prices on that. I'd love to know your opinion on this Chanel price increase and the way price increases work on us psychologically. And let me be clear, I have no problem with people in my country increasing prices of their services. I will happily pay if I think it's worth it. So you can see in the restaurant example, it was super tasty, it was really yummy, it was very expensive, but I felt like it was worth the money. One of my favorite places to go, they have very expensive milkshakes, okay? And I love their milkshakes and I'm happy to pay. I just felt like he was just overcharging way too much and it was just a bit too much. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think of this Chanel price increase and what will you be buying moving forward. I think the minis with the mini with the top handle is definitely a buy before 22p because I just have a feeling that that's going to go up in price. If you like what I'm doing, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. You hit notifications, make sure you stick around. So the update I wanted to tell you guys about my channel is that starting next week, I'm going to upload on Thursday. And then from the 1st of October, I'm going to be uploading every single day except Sunday because that's when I rest and go to church. But in October, there's this thing called Vlogtober where you're supposed to post every single day. So I'm going to try Vlogtober because I've never done it before. So I'm super excited to actually try it. I hope you guys don't get sick of me. That's why I was like, let me not upload a video on Tuesday because maybe I'm just uploading too much and you guys might be sick of me. So my next video is on Thursday, and then as soon as the 1st of October starts, I will be doing Vlogtober and I'll be posting every single day except Sunday. So yeah, if you're excited or you're looking forward to it, let me know. And yeah, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next video.